The sound of tearing paper is surprisingly loud, a sharp, final rip that cuts through the din of our family's anniversary dinner. This. My uncle Marco spits, holding the two halves of my acceptance letter to the Rhode Island School of Design. This is your plan. To become a professional beggar with a paintbrush. A piece of the heavy linen paper flutters down and lands in my mother's untouched tiramisu. She doesn't look at it. She never looks at the messes Marco makes. Around the sprawling $10,000 oak table, my family, aunts, uncles, cousins, are a gallery of smirks and averted eyes. The air is thick with the scent of braised short ribs and quiet judgment. It's a good school, uncle, I say, my voice tighter than I want it to be. It's for industrial design. It's not just painting. It's a good school, uncle, I say, my voice tighter than I want it to be. It's for industrial design. It's not just painting. It's a fantasy, my father says from the head of the table. His voice is calm, weary, as if my life's ambition is a minor inconvenience. Luca, be serious. The family business needs you. I need you. The family business. Bella Rosa Bespoke, a multi-million-dollar empire of high-end furniture and interior design, built on a reputation for artisan craftsmanship. A reputation built, according to the official family lore, by my grandfather, Antonio, and now carried by my father and uncles. But the Real Foundation, the soul of the company, was my grandmother, Chiara. An artist whose sketches filled 100 notebooks, now all mysteriously lost after her sudden death a decade ago. My name is Luca Bellarosa. I'm 19 years old, and for the last 5 years, I've known a secret that is about to shatter my family's perfect, gilded world. They think I've been wasting my time in my studio. They have no idea I've been reconstructing my grandmother's stolen legacy, one line at a time. The dismissal is a physical weight. I push back from the table, the screech of my chair legs on the marble floor the only protest I can muster. Where are you going? My mother asks, her voice a practiced blend of concern and criticism. We haven't had dessert. I've lost my appetite. I don't go to my bedroom. I go to my studio, the converted garage they let me use because it kept me out of the way. The space smells of turpentine, gesso, and old paper. Canvases lean against walls, but they're a decoy. The real work is locked in a fireproof flat file I bought with money for my secret freelance design gigs. I unlock the bottom drawer. Inside aren't just my own designs. There are dozens of meticulous, large-format drawings. They are recreations. My grandmother's work. I have a near-photographic memory for images. It's a secret I've kept since childhood. When I was 8, my grandmother would sit with me in her sun-drenched conservatory, her sketchbook on her lap. She'd show me her drawings, her hands, gnarled with arthritis but still steady, tracing the lines of a chair, a table, a lighting fixture that looked like a captured constellation. "The soul is in the line, Luca," she'd whisper, her voice accented and soft. "Not in the money it makes." After she died, the sketchbooks vanished. My father said they were lost in the move to the new house. But I remembered. I remembered every curve, every innovative joint, every elegant solution to a mechanical problem. For years, I've been pouring that memory onto paper, my hand replicating what my mind had perfectly preserved. And in the process of recreating her work, I started to see our company's current, iconic designs everywhere. The Aurora chair, a simplified, mass-produced version of her loose sketch. The Vento bookshelf, a cheapened copy of her Sophio design. They hadn't just stolen her sketchbooks. They'd built their entire modern catalog on pilfered ideas, watering down her genius for mass production while marketing it as exclusive artistry. They were frauds. My phone buzzes. It's a text from my older sister, Isabella. "You shouldn't have provoked him. You know how he gets." I don't reply. Isabella is the golden child, the one with an MBA, being groomed to take over the business side. She lives in a world of spreadsheets and profit margins, and she thinks my art is a cute, harmless hobby. The garage door opens. I quickly slide the drawings back into the flat file and lock it. It's my father. He stands in the doorway, his silhouette framed by the manicured lawn behind him. He looks tired. Luca, we need to talk. There's nothing to talk about, Dad. My mind is made up. It's not just about you, he says, stepping inside. His eyes scan the room, lingering on a canvas of a chaotic, abstract storm. He doesn't understand it. The business. It's not as strong as it looks. We've lost 2 major contracts this quarter. The investors are nervous. Having you in the fold, a direct descendant learning the trade, it projects stability. Continuity. Continuity of what? I ask, turning to face him. Continuity of stealing Nana's designs and calling them your own. The silence that follows is absolute. The air leaves his lungs. His face, for a fleeting second, is a mask of pure, unadulterated panic. Then, the shutters come down. His expression hardens into one of cold fury. What did you just say? I know, Dad. I remember her sketchbooks. I know where every single one of your nude designs comes from. He takes a step toward me, his voice a low, dangerous growl. You have no idea what you're talking about. Your grandmother was a sentimental woman with a pencil. We built something from her doodles. We gave them life. We created an empire. You created a lie. And you've been lying to me, to everyone, for years. You will forget this, he commands, his finger pointing at my chest. You will destroy whatever fantasies you've drawn in here. You will decline that art school offer. And you will report to the corporate office on Monday morning as the new junior brand associate. This is not a discussion. He turns to leave, then pauses at the door. And Luca, if I hear so much as a whisper of this slander outside this room, you will be cut off. No trust fund, no name, no family. You'll be exactly what Marco called you. A beggar. Think about that. The door slams shut. I stand there, my hands trembling not with fear, but with a cold, clarifying rage. The threat is real. The trust fund for my grandmother, the one I get access to at 21, is managed by my father. He could lock it away indefinitely. But he's made one fatal mistake. He's confirmed everything. I don't sleep. I work. I pull out every recreation I've made. I scan them into my computer, uploading them to a secure, encrypted cloud server with a password even my tech-savvy sister couldn't crack. I cross-reference them with dated photographs from my childhood, pictures of me in my grandmother's conservatory, where her sketchbooks are clearly visible in the background. I have proof. Not just of my memory, but of the timeline. Then, I find it. The key. Tucked in the back of my mind is a drawing I'd never attempted to recreate. It was her last one. She called it l'ultimo sospiro, the last sigh. It was a desk of breathtaking complexity and beauty, with flowing organic lines and hidden compartments. A masterpiece. I'd never seen it in any Bella Rosa catalog. Until now. I pull up the company's latest press release, sent out just this morning. Bella Rosa Bespoke announces its masterwork, the Eternita Collector's Desk. The digital rendering on the screen is a direct, blatant copy of my grandmother's L'ultimo sospiro. They've simplified a few lines, changed the wood tone, but it's hers. Unmistakably. The press release boasts that it's an original design by CEO Roberto Bella Rosa, my father. Pre-orders are already flooding in from collectors and museums, at a price point of $250,000 per desk. This isn't just theft. It's a multi-million-dollar fraud, and he's putting his name on her final, most personal work. They've left me no choice. The next morning, I pack a single bag. I don't take the fancy clothes or the expensive watch my parents gave me for my last birthday. I take my laptop, my external hard drives, my portfolio, and the one piece of my grandmother I managed to save before they cleared out her house, a small, silver thimble she used when she sewed. I walk out as the sun is rising. I don't leave a note. I have one lead. An old, half-remembered name. A woman my grandmother mentioned in her stories, a fellow artist and her closest friend from her youth in Italy, Serafina Rossi. A few hours of digging in online archives and old community records leads me to a number. I call, my heart hammering against my ribs. An elderly, melodic voice answers. Pronto, Signora Rossi? My name is Luca Bellarosa. I am Chiara's grandson. There is a long, heavy silence. Chiara, she finally whispers, the name a prayer. She said you might call one day. She said you had her eyes. Her memory. My breath catches. She talked about me? She talked about all of you. She was so proud. And so afraid for you, growing up in that factory of lies. We need to talk, Luca. Can you come see me? Serafina Rossi lives in a small, cluttered apartment filled with the scent of oil paint and espresso. She is a tiny, bird-like woman with sharp, intelligent eyes that miss nothing. She holds my hands in hers, her grip surprisingly strong. Your grandmother, she was a genius. A true visionary. Antonio, your grandfather, he was a good businessman, but he had no art in his soul. It was always Chiara. After he died, your father, Roberto, he saw her designs only as products. He and his brothers, they pressured her, bullied her. They said her ideas were too expensive, too feminine. They wanted to modernize, to mass-produce. She leads me to a weathered chest. Inside, carefully preserved, are bundles of letters. She knew what they were doing. She knew they were taking her sketchbooks. In her last years, she began mailing her most precious designs to me for safekeeping. She was building a case, Luca, to protect her legacy. For you. I look through the letters. Each one contains an original sketch. And with each sketch, a notarized letter of authenticity, signed and dated by my grandmother, stating that the designs were her sole, intellectual property. She hadn't just been a victim. She had been fighting back from the very beginning. There is one more thing, Serafina says, handing me a sealed envelope, yellowed with age. Her final instructions. She wanted you to have this. I open it with trembling fingers. It's a letter and a key. My dearest Luca, if you are reading this, you have chosen the path of the artist. You have chosen truth over comfort. I am so proud. The key is for a safety deposit box at the First National Bank, under your name. Inside, you will find my last will and testament, a newer one that supersedes the one your father holds. It leaves my entire estate, including my intellectual property, to you. Use it to build something beautiful, something true. And remember, my darling boy, the soul is in the line. The law office of Henderson and Pierce is nothing like my father's sleek, minimalist corporate headquarters. It's all dark wood, leather-bound books, and a sense of immovable permanence. I sit across from Ms. Evelyn Pierce, a woman in her 60s with a steely gaze and a reputation for being the most formidable intellectual property attorney on the East Coast. I've laid everything out before her. My recreations, the dated photographs, Serafina's letters, my grandmother's original sketches with their notarized authentications, and the new will. She reads through it all in silence, her expression unreadable. Finally, she looks up. Mr. Bellarosa, she says, her voice calm and authoritative. This is one of the most clear-cut cases of intellectual property theft and corporate fraud I have ever seen. The evidence is overwhelming. We can move for an immediate injunction on the Eternita desk and their entire current catalog. We can sue for damages, for all profits derived from your grandmother's work, and for control of the company. The words hang in the air, immense and terrifying. What are our options? I ask, my voice quiet. We can go nuclear, she says. A very public lawsuit that will destroy the company's reputation and likely bankrupt your family. Or, she pauses, leaning forward, we can give them a choice. They can negotiate a private settlement. They sign over a controlling share of the company to you. They publicly acknowledge your grandmother as the sole creative force behind Bellarosa Bespoke, and they pay substantial reparations. Or they can face the consequences in a very public, very ugly court battle. The power is dizzying. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about restoration. I want to offer them the settlement, I say. But with one condition. And what is that? My father must step down as CEO. My sister, Isabella, can run the business operations. She's good at it, and she wasn't part of the theft. But the creative direction, the soul of the company, belongs to me. And we will return to my grandmother's principles: true artisan craftsmanship, limited production runs. No more mass-produced lies. Ms. Pierce allows a small, grim smile to touch her lips. An elegant solution. Poetic, even. Let's draw up the papers. The confrontation happens in Ms. Pierce's conference room. My father, Uncle Marco, and Isabella arrive, their lawyers in tow. They think they're here to discuss my reckless behavior and a potential breach of my trust fund agreement. Their confidence evaporates when they see me sitting at the head of the table, Ms. Pierce at my side. Their confidence evaporates when they see me sitting at the head of the table, Ms. Pierce at my side. Luca, what is the meaning of this? My father barks, his face flushed with anger. We're here to discuss the future of Bella Rosa Bespoke, I say, my voice not wavering. Or rather, Chiara Bellarosa's company. For the next hour, Ms. Pierce systematically dismantles their world. She projects my grandmother's original sketches next to the company's current designs. She shows the notarized letters. She presents the new will. Isabella looks like she's been slapped. She stares at the evidence, then at our father, her expression shifting from confusion to dawning horror. Is this true? She whispers. Marco is sputtering, denying everything. But my father is silent. He just stares at the image of l'ultimo sospiro projected on the wall, his shoulders slumping. The fight has gone out of him. He's been caught, and he knows it. You have a choice, I say, finally breaking the silence. You can accept my terms. Isabella becomes CEO. I become creative director and majority shareholder. We publicly relaunch the company, crediting Nana as our founder and guiding spirit. You and Uncle Marco can retire, with a modest pension. Or, I meet my father's eyes, we can see each other in court. I think we both know how that will end. The silence stretches. Isabella is the first to speak. I'll do it, she says, her voice firm. She looks at our father with a mix of pity and disgust. The company is a shadow of what it could be. We've been trading on a lie for too long. She looks at me. Luca's vision, Nana's vision, is the only way to save it. My father knows he's defeated. He gives a single, curt nod. They sign. 1 year later, I stand on a stage at the Milan Furniture Fair. The banner behind me reads, Bella Rosa Atelier, the legacy of Chiara. Below the stage, my mother sits in the front row. She left my father 6 months after the settlement. She's in therapy now, trying to untangle a lifetime of complicity. We're talking, slowly. It's fragile, but it's a start. My father lives in a small apartment in Connecticut. We don't speak. Some wounds are too deep. Isabella and I run the company together. It's smaller now, but more prestigious and profitable than ever. We've returned to true craftsmanship. We've even begun production of l'ultimo sospiro, exactly as my grandmother designed it, with a plaque bearing her name. It's already won 3 international design awards. I look out at the crowd, at the journalists, the collectors, the peers who once might have pitied me. My grandmother once told me that the soul is in the line. I say into the microphone, my voice clear and strong. For too long, that soul was missing from the company that bore her name. Today, we honor her. Not as a muse, but as the master artist she always was. After the presentation, a young woman approaches me, clutching a portfolio. She looks nervous, the way I once did. Mr. Bella Rosa, she stammers. I just wanted to say thank you. Your story. It gave me the courage to apply to art school. I smile, a genuine, unburdened smile. Don't let anyone ever tell you your art is a fantasy, I tell her. It's the truest thing you will ever do. The best revenge against a family that tried to erase your passion isn't to destroy them. It's to prove that their greatest fear was your greatest strength all along. It's to take the very thing they mocked and use it to build a legacy so authentic, so powerful, that it forever changes the story they worked so hard to control. And in doing so, you finally set the record straight.